Hey guys, my nephew wanted me to make my great niece's birthday cake. So I'd had a request for vanilla cake video, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I make my vanilla cake. It's a really simple recipe, but it's a super moist cake. Everybody loves it. It is so good. So just want to show you what my ingredients are first. I have a cup of butter, a half cup of vegetable shortening. I have 5 eggs. This is a half of a cup of buttermilk plus a half cup of whole milk. This is 3 cups of sugar. This is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And to the all-purpose flour, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to use my whisk, and I'm going to just whisk the salt and baking powder into my flour. Make sure that it's well combined. And then I'm going to mix my butter and shortening together. And make sure that it's really creamy. And as you can see, that's much creamier now. It's all blended together. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and add my 3 cups of sugar. And I'm going to mix that together. And you just want it to be light and airy. And then I'm going to add in my eggs. Now, this is pasture-raised eggs. I use the Vital Farms. Those are the eggs I was talking about. That's what I've been using. And I'm going to add these eggs in one at a time. This is why I like to use my hand mixer, because I can move it around to wherever I need it to go. Now this cake will not be really white. It'll have that yellowish tint because of course the egg yolk does add that yellow color to it. But most people don't care because it tastes so good. They don't care what color it is. Now if you needed a cake for a wedding or something like that and they really wanted the cake to be white, you could do just the egg whites and leave the yolks out. Or you could possibly just add some white food coloring to it. But to me, the yellow is not a problem. Alright, now all that's blended together, and I'm going to add in my 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. There's 1, 2. Now I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl to make sure I don't have anything sticking to the sides. I love these little spatulas. I use them for so many things. Now I'm going to take my flour mixture and I'm going to add in like 1/3 of it. And I'm not measuring to see if it's a third. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm adding in about a third of the flour. Now I'm going to add half of my milk as I've got my mixer running. It's about half. And I'm just going to get it incorporated so that it doesn't look wet. And then I'm going to add about another third of my flour mixture. And I'm going to mix that until it's incorporated. You always start with your dry ingredients first, and you end with your dry ingredients. You do your wet ingredients in between. Now I'm adding in my last bit of milk. And again, that's half buttermilk, half whole milk. Some people just use whole milk and some people use water, but to me, it tastes better if you add in that buttermilk. It gives it sort of a kick, you know what I mean? Gives it more flavor. Now I'm going to add in the last of my flour mixture. And you can see how quickly this is coming together. It really does not take long. This will be a thick batter. It's not going to be real loose and thin like my chocolate cake batter is. This is a thicker batter, but it's so moist and delicious. You just cannot believe what a good cake this makes. It's kind of like the taste of a pound cake, but more moist, you know? And that's going to do it. You do not want to over mix it. So I'm going to call that done. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl again. Now I'm going to divide this between 3 pans because this is going to be a 3-layer cake for my little great niece, okay? So I've got my pans prepared over here. This is just 3 9-inch pans. They've got parchment paper in the bottom of them. I just sprayed them with Pam and then stuck the parchment paper in. And what I do, this is not precise by any means, but I take one big heaping spatula and put in each pan. And then just do it all over again, heaping spatula at a time until all the batter's gone. And it's divided between the pans. And as you can see, this doesn't take very long to do. And this cake comes together in a hurry. And it's going to go into the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to bake it for about half an hour, but I will check it at about 25 minutes just to see if it's done. Now before I put it into the oven, I'm going to kind of spread the batter in the pan so that it's not all right in the center. I like to kind of flatten it out, you know. So I'm going to do that to each of these pans. Just using this spatula that I was scraping my bowl with. Easy peasy. And I'm just going to use the rest of that right there. And these go into the oven, and I'll let you know how it turns out in about half an hour. All right guys, I checked these at 25 minutes and they were not ready, so I set it for another 5, so it's been half an hour. And the 2 on the top rack, because I had to move them around, are ready. I tested them and you can see they are ready. So I'm going to take out the 2 on top, and then I'm going to move the one on bottom up so it can finish getting brown on top. It's almost ready, so I'm just going to give it another like 2 minutes. But as you can see, these are ready. I'm going to let them cool down. Once they cool completely, I'm going to wrap them in plastic wrap, and I'll put them in the freezer overnight, because that way they're easier to work with whenever you're frosting and decorating. So this will be a Paw Patrol cake, so I've got to do some fondant work and things like that on it, but I'll do that another time. Just wanted to show you how to put this cake together. It's really simple, but really delicious. Got to try it. See you next time.